Everybody, if you're like anybody else trying to run n8n self-hosted, you know the challenges. My team and I have been working and talking with people for the last year on all of their n8n self-hosted issues, and we've put together the ultimate stack for hosting all of n8n in your own environment, on your local machine, in your own cloud environment, on your own hosted VPS, your own servers, wherever you want to put it. It'll run with the Community Edition, the Enterprise Edition, however you want to license n8n. And then it will wrap around all of the monitoring, the analytics, all of the reporting, all of the alerting, all of the backups, the imports, the exports, everything you need to really, truly successfully run n8n in your own environment. You can do custom domains with CloudFlare tunnels. We have all of that built in and installed in a simple copy and paste. I'm going to walk you through the whole stack, show you how it works, and show you why we're so excited to showcase this to everybody. All right, so I'm going to run you through the stack and everything you get out of the box. The install is literally a copy and paste. So whether you're running locally or in a remote terminal on a server, it runs through the entire setup process for you and configures everything without even needing a graphical interface on the server that you're installing it to. So it's a great install process. I'm going to go ahead and log in here real quick. So Stack Manager is a custom tool that we've built in this stack, and it manages everything for you, and it's the heart and soul of the solution. Before I dive into this, I'm going to show you just real quick. So I have Portainer running on my local machine just to make it easy to see all the services. But this stack spins up with 20 services. I know it sounds like a lot, but this is everything that you really need in an enterprise environment to run and manage all the services involved and get alerting and notifications and all the historical logs and all those kinds of things. So you can see here we've got n8n running. We've got our Stack Manager, API, UI, scheduler, all those things. We use GoTrue authentication for unified single sign-on. So this is from Supabase. So Stack Manager and Grafana are both single sign-on. We have a Redis cache. So this is really important. The stack here is designed so that it runs n8n in worker mode. And down here at the bottom, I've got n8n worker. So I've got one worker running in this particular stack. What that happens is that n8n will use the Redis cache to queue up all of your workflows. So if you've got things auto-scheduled or you manually run them, or you've got webhooks coming in and executing workflows, any of those kinds of things, n8n is going to put that request into Redis. Redis is then going to fan that out to all of your workers. So if you have one worker or 10 workers or 3 workers or whatever, or one of those workers goes down, Redis is going to handle that queuing system for all of that and keep it resilient and up and running. So there's not just a single instance of n8n running here. We actually have a group of workers. And we have a whole configuration wizard tool that will analyze the machine you're running on during the install process. So I just set this stack up with one worker, but it will analyze the number of CPU cores and processors that you have on the machine, the amount of RAM, those kinds of things. And it will recommend how many workers you should be able to run comfortably on that machine. Typically, we recommend running the stack on 4 or 8 gigs of memory or more, which is well within most VPS providers are typically 4 to 8 gigabytes. You can run this all the way down on 2 gigabytes of system resources for RAM. Don't really recommend it, but it'll run as long as you got one worker. But obviously, the more memory you give it and capacity, the better it's run. But it'll run very comfortably on a 4 or 8 gigabytes of RAM VPS or cloud server. Not a problem. We have DB Postgres from Supabase here. So a lot of people use Supabase for their databases, for the RAG databases and vector storage. We run the Supabase database locally in this stack specifically because you get all the vector storage and vector databases built in. So if you run your RAG databases and your vector databases within the stack, you can run those all internally at no extra cost. So that's a great, nice bonus. We have lots of exporters and things for monitoring and logs and alerts and notifications and historical data. We have the LLM processor. I'll show you how we pull those metrics out in a minute. And then we also have CloudFlare configured here as well. So if you're running the stack by default, the stack spins up and runs localhost. And what that means is that there's no external access. This is great for security. So all 20 of these services have no external access by default. So there's no security exposure at all. The beauty here is that when you want to run this locally on your local machine, run it localhost, everything runs great. If you want to set up webhooks for n8n, or you want to host this on a remote server, you want custom domains, we have a wizard that will go through and set up CloudFlare tunnels. It will set up the tunnel, it will set up the DNS for you, do all that for you, so you don't have to go in and configure all that. And then it will expose the Stack Manager, Grafana, and n8n publicly, so you can get to those on your own custom domains and access the stack. And then everything else within the stack stays completely isolated with no public exposure. So your database is never exposed to the public internet, your Redis cache, none of these other services are ever publicly exposed. And that dramatically decreases your security footprint. All of this is designed and built to be enterprise secured and production ready. Myself, as well as our entire team of DevOps engineers and our SKOOL community, we've spent decades in enterprise environments running and managing large scale stacks. I'm a software architect, those kinds of things. And so this entire thing is built around running AI automations at scale in a production environment. The stack is also designed to run other types of AI agents. So if you don't want to run n8n, you could run other types of AI agent frameworks as well. And we'll get to that on a future video. 20 services within the stack spun up by default. It's literally a copy and paste install. All right, so within Stack Manager, nice, pretty graphical interface. You can see the dashboard. I've got some backups that have run here recently. I just spun this instance up not too long ago, so there's not too much backup data. We have stack alerts. So in Grafana, we have all of the alert notifications set up. It's monitoring over 100 different alert profiles across the whole system. So we're monitoring for everything for security intrusion. We're monitoring for backups, backup issues, services being up or down, CPU usage being over the limits, memory usage going out of control, disk storage getting low, all those kinds of things across the entire stack. There's over 100 monitoring alerts set up across the stack to keep you aware of everything happening. And then in Stack Manager, we have the stack alerts here. It gives you a really nice overview of everything that's happened. Obviously, this is a fresh stack. I haven't had any alerts. Nothing's gone down. If we turn off n8n, we can come in here and see the alerts and things like that. We have an entire backup manager built in. So this handles all of your database backups, your workflows, all those kinds of things as well, credentials, whatnot. We have a scheduling system for the backups. Right now I've got an hourly backup scheduled. You can create as many schedules as you want. You can put those on whatever schedule if you want them hourly, daily, weekly, monthly, whatever the case might be. You can even do a custom configuration, so you can do it every 5 minutes if you want to. It's up to you. And you can also set a retention period. So do you want to keep those for a day, a week, a month, a year, whatever you want. And then we have various storage providers. By default, there's a local storage provider configured. So we're storing those backups within the stack. This works great if you're on a cloud environment or on a VPS or something and you have your own backups working through them, and you can handle it that way. But then we also have providers. So you can do, right now we have AWS S3 buckets as well as Azure Blob Storage that you can add. If you are looking for some other storage providers, we've got a whole bunch of storage providers in the roadmap that are already in the works. Dropbox and Box and OneDrive and whatever your heart's content, Google Drive, whatnot. So all those are going to be coming soon. And the backup manager manages all that. And so you can have multiple schedules running to different places. If you want multiple backups and multiple providers, however you want to configure that, you can do any combination you want to. We have workflow and credential management, so you can see all the workflows in n8n, see all your credentials. We have an import and export tool. So the export tool will pull in all the workflows that you have, and you could be thousands. We've run this on stacks with literally thousands of workflows set up. A lot of people will have sub-workflows. So if you have a main workflow that kicks off sub-workflows, this will analyze those. And you can have as many levels deep as you want. So if you have a workflow that has a sub-workflow and those have sub-workflows and so on down the chain, you can have as many deep as you want. But if you select any of those workflows all through that chain, we've already analyzed them and we will auto-select any of those workflows that might be needed. So you get the entire chain. So you're not going to run in a situation where oh, I only exported the parent workflow and not the child workflow. Like this will auto select those for you. And then it will also auto select the credentials that are involved for those workflows. So you can get those exported as well. And again, it's gonna look all the way down your stack. So if you've got multiple workflows or multiple credentials being used in those workflows, we're gonna export all of those for you. By default, we export them encrypted. So if you're gonna re-import them back into this same stack instance that we have running here, that'll work just fine. Or if you want to port those over to another instance, if you've got a development environment or another environment set up that you want to port these workflows or credentials into, you can export those decrypted. And then you can import that export into other instances, share those with people, whatever you want. But be careful, obviously, you don't want to share your decrypted credentials with other people. So be careful how you do that. We have LLM costs. We use Light LLM, which is a great group with a GitHub repository. We pull this in every 2 weeks and update and refresh the pricing details. So if you come in here and you want to pull in data for Anthropic, can't spell today. Right, here's all your Claude models and all those kinds of things. Same thing if you run OpenRouter. Here's all the OpenRouter models as well as all their individual prices. So the Claude model through OpenRouter if you want to. And then if you have a enterprise agreement with OpenAI or Anthropic or whoever else, or you just happen to have another model here that's not listed and you want to add costing, you can do that yourself. But if you have a enterprise agreement and you want to customize the pricing here, you can go in and change the pricing. And we also have a recalculate historical costs, so it'll let you go back and recalculate if you updated the price a week after it took effect or whatever else. And if you mark those, if you customize these, we mark them as customized and we won't update them. Otherwise, every 2 weeks, this gets updated and refreshed. There's also a manual refresh price list button. We have user management with roles. So we have admin roles, manager roles, and client roles. So you can set up access for whoever you want into Stack Manager as well as Grafana. Only admins are able to export workflows, credentials, those kinds of things. So we do have security there for all of that. And in settings, we have an API connection over to n8n. So for all of our data within Stack Manager, we access For all of our data within n8n, we have access both through the API as well as the CLI. So we're able to get a lot more information out of n8n. By default, in the community edition of n8n, for example, if you're running the enterprise edition of n8n, then you have lots more API access. But if you're running the community edition, it's pretty limited. And by accessing it through the CLI, which is a tool provided by n8n, so we're using all the official n8n tools. We're not bypassing anything or violating any of the license agreements or rules from n8n. We can get all that data either through the CLI or through the API, and we use a combination of the two to access and pull in everything. And we have links to Grafana and n8n within our stack here. And then we have access link out to our SKOOL community. So we have an entire group of DevOps engineers in that community for helping you with support, helping you set things up, helping you with running stuff, performance issues in production, all those kinds of things. So come join the community in SKOOL and get access to a really great group of people that are running large instance n8n stacks at scale. Within the stack, we spin up Grafana, so dashboarding, reporting, all those kinds of things. We have a system overview dashboard that we've built out that shows you status of all the services that are running in the stack. And if one of them goes down, this will show red and give you an alert and all those kinds of things as well. You can also see here that we've got CPU usage and memory usage for all the containers, network usage, all those kinds of things. But you can see here, like the CPU, we have 20 services running here. The CPU usage of these is minuscule, right? Same thing with memory, right? You can really run this stack at scale on very limited system resources, for sure. We have n8n workflows, so you can see all your workflows, total executions, how long those executions ran for, and a lot of details here. And you can go back historically, you can see days, weeks, months in the past and see how your workflows performed as well. LLM usage, so if most of us are running LLM models within our workflows for AI, things like that, this will show you a breakdown of all the providers, all the models that were used, how many tokens were used, all this information, how much you've spent. I've only run a few through here for example purposes, but so I haven't even used a penny. But this will pull in all of your analytics data for all of your LLM usage. So you can really drill down and get a lot more detail on the LLM usage we have in your workflows. Database metrics for all your databases. You can switch between databases as well, n8n, Grafana. You can see stats on individual databases, those kinds of things. Redis cache, so here's real-time metrics going on. If you let it sit here and tick off for a few seconds, you'll see that it's real-time updating coming out of Redis. So if you have workflows running in production and things are going slow or something, you can come here, you can see, is Redis running hot? How many queued up workflows do we have that are just waiting to be run? All of those kinds of things. You can get all the real-time usage analytics out of your Redis cache and your workers from here. And then logs and alerts. There's all your logs, everything going through all the stack. If you want to get into more detail, there's drill down into other metrics. There's tons and tons of metrics across the system that you can drill down into if you want to. You can change the time frame here that you want for these to display from. Logs, again, you can get logs from all the containers and details. So you don't have to go dig through Docker and pull out log data. We're pulling all that out already and putting that into all the databases. We have stack alerts. So over here under alerting, you can get to these from here or from the menu on the left, whatever you want to do. You can see here in Grafana, we have 106 rules set up right now. This is everything from security stuff, right? High API error rates, security threats that we've detected, all those kinds of things going on within the stack. You can get, and if somebody's trying to hack in and we have built-in enterprise level mechanisms so that if they try to log in and it's rejected too many times, we'll automatically block them and do scaled backoffs and all those kinds of things too. So there's a lot of security built into this stack. Resources and stacks and performances and LLM metrics. And one of the other things, we've set up Grafana intentionally so that what's a high LLM error rate or what's a high cost, right, for us or for somebody might be a little bit different. And so you have the access here to come in and edit any of these alerts and set them up for how you want them for your monitoring. So if you want to get a notification if your LLM costs go above a certain level, we can do that, right? We get budget details and stuff like that happening in here as well. Alerts for all the integrations, health checks, infrastructure, disk space, right, goes over a certain threshold, memory usage, CPU, all that kind of stuff. So you know about issues within the stack before anybody else does. So you're not just waiting to have an issue, somebody reports, hey, something's down, not working. You know when something's not working before anybody else does. And you can do that too through contact points. By default, there's an email contact point set up so you can get email alerts. But for those that want to go deeper, if you have Alert Manager, Discord, or Slack, or Microsoft Teams, or you want to get PagerDuty, whatever kind of alerts you want to have, you can set those up here, and it will shift off all of those alerts to whatever stack solution you want to do. So this will give you the ability to make sure you get those alerts and notifications wherever you are. And then, of course, we have links to the Stack Manager, workflows, all that. And then n8n itself is n8n, right? This is your normal, everyday n8n, whatever license you have applied here, whether it's community or enterprise or whatever the case might be, is fully accessible, and you have everything that you would normally expect to have. We've got the latest version of n8n. It's very simple to update the version. And we have configuration tools and wizards for setting everything up, configuring things, changing live running stacks, setting up additional services, changing the number of workers, all that kind of stuff. That's everything in the Stack Manager. That's everything that we spin up throughout the system. There's so many other features and functionality that I wasn't able to get into because of time, but I'll be doing deep dive videos on some other parts of the system, how to customize it, how to configure it, how to scale it. And 99% of that is all automated and managed for you. So I hope you enjoyed that little demo of the Stack. There's so many more features that I didn't have time to get into. There's lots of things the Stack does and handles and monitors for you. We also have configuration tools and wizards to help set everything up, and SMTP settings and all kinds of things that we'll walk through in future videos. So come join us in SKOOL in the free community, get the stack up and running, ask us any questions, drop some questions or some likes in the comments here on YouTube, and let us know what you think. We have an entire roadmap with all kinds of things that we're going to be adding to the stack over time. We have a lot of feature requests, and I think there's going to be some really amazing stuff here to get you up and running easily and keep n8n running in your own self-hosted environment for years to come.